The final type of factoring we're going to look at are the two special cases that we dealt with in class. So the first one's called difference of squares. So this is when we see two terms, there's a minus sign, and both terms are perfect squares. So the way you can handle factoring this, you could use the x in the box and the b would be 0, or you can use our shortcut. So the shortcut you can use is you set up your two parentheses, and then the square root of the first term, which is w, goes in the first position. So w goes here, w goes here. Square root of the second term, which is 3, goes here and here. And then with difference of squares, one gets a plus sign and one gets a minus sign. So that is our first special case. If you were to multiply this back out, you would notice you'd get a plus 3w and a minus 3w, which would cancel out, which would equal 0, which would give you the no middle term. So seeing one more example like that, first setting up our two sets of parentheses. Square root of the first term, so square root of 121 is 11, and square root of x squared is x. So 11x is going to start both groups of parentheses. And then square root of 81 is 9. So we're going to get a 9 in the second spot, a 9 in the second spot. And then we're going to get a plus and a minus. So that is our answer. That is our factored form of this polynomial. The other type of special case we looked at were perfect square trinomials. So different things to look for this. The first and the last term should be perfect squares. There's always going to be a plus sign before the last term. And then our middle term should be 2 times a times b. So a and b come from, if I took the square root of this, that's x, so that's my a. Square root of 49 is 7, so that's b. So if I did 2 times x times 7, I would get that 14x. So that's where the other way to categorize it. So filling in our parentheses, square root of the first term was x, so x goes first in both. Square root of 49 is 7, and the way to determine which sign to put for these is whichever sign comes first, that's the sign you're going to use. So since it's a minus, we're going to do a minus and a minus. So the other way to write this is x minus 7 squared. So both of those would be acceptable answers. So seeing one more example like this, I would set up my parentheses. Square root of 36x squared is 6x. So 6x is going to go first. And square root of 9y squared is 3y. So 3y comes second. And the first sign is a plus sign, so I know I'm going to have pluses for both. So writing that a little bit more simplified, you would have 6x plus 3y squared. So those are our two special cases that we looked at.